In this video, we will see how to write materials and methods section in a scientific paper. Materials and methods section is one of the core section of a research article. It is also termed as the heart of a research article. This section contains the experimental design of the study. The whole study becomes questionable if there are major flaws in the research methodology. The materials and methods section should contain a clear and brief description of the research procedure. It is important for two reasons. This section convinces the reader or reviewer that the work is valid. The researcher uses methodology to guide us about his or her experiments. It shows the credibility and validity of the research work. The method section should describe what was done to answer the research question, describe how it was done, justify the experimental design, and explain how the results were analyzed. This section also provides the rationale for the specific experimental procedure. Scientific research is a complex process. It warrants that the materials and methods should be written clearly and orderly. It will help to avoid confusion and ambiguity. It is also important to specify the profile of the sample population. For instance, if the study involves humans, the researcher should provide the demographic details such as age, gender, racial composition, etc. If the subject of the study are animals, it is important to list species, weight, strain, sex, age, etc. If the subjects in the research work were human or animals, it is important to describe the declaration of ethical approvals and determination of the protocol by the review board governing the research. The registration of number of approval letter from an appropriate institution or ethics committee if it is applicable. The protocol refers to the sequence of manipulations and measurement procedures that make up the experiment. This should follow the exact sequence of how procedures were executed. Experimental materials is also an important part of the material and methods. The author should explain the details of the experimental materials used during the experimentation. Preparation of material is the next step. The researcher should also explain how the materials were prepared. The complete step-by-step procedure of experiment should be detailed. It should be better. The researcher keep noting every step of experimentation during the study. Measurement and calculation is also important in research methods section. In this step, the researcher should describe what variables were measured, how these variables were made, why certain variables were measured, description of measurement instruments such as manufacturer, model, calibration procedure, and measurements should be detailed. Methods used for data analysis should be detailed in the material and method section. The authors should explain what statistical or econometric methods were used for the data analysis. However, the use of statistical or econometric methods depends on data type. The material and method section should be written in the past tense. It would be better to ask other researchers to read this section. It would be better the reader should not be involved in your study. If the reader understands the procedure, you may proceed in writing your material and method section. Research method should be logical and organized in chronological order. The authors should describe the statistical method used for the data analysis with all relevant details. Moreover, the statistical methods and significance levels should be explained. The subheadings of the Materials and Methods section should be organized in the same order as that in Results section.